All right, guys, good morning. We are here in beautiful, sunny Southern California at my dad's property here. And today we have a project day. Today we are going to be working on the Cummins Onan 5.5 watt generator. But before that, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, and hit the like button. Let's get to it. I did a little bit of my own research and it's fairly simple. We have a Keystone Carbon with a built-in RV QG5500 evap Onan. So we're gonna just kind of show you guys how to do the maintenance. I've never done this before, but you know, after doing a little research, it seems very simple. So as far as tools go, I don't really think you need many. All I have is my tiny little toolkit here that I keep under the back seat of my truck. What I do have is 2 quarts of oil for the generator. I believe it takes like 1.75 quarts is what I was told and what I researched. I went with 1540 for the conditions that we are going to be in for the next little while. So I got 2 quarts. So I got 2 quarts of that. Then we have our filter for the Onan. I'll put that in the description below. I'll add a link for everything we have here. And I also went ahead and got an air filter, but we are going to take a look and see if we think it needs to be swapped out. It's here. I'm not going to bother reading the part number because you're not going to remember, and it's just easier to put it in the description below. All right, so the first thing you have to do is you have to pull this cover off. I already, just so you know, I already took a look beforehand. It's pretty simple. So you're just gonna grab the top corner on each side, and there's just a rubber seal. They feel really firm, and you're gonna feel like you're gonna break it, but you won't, I promise. So the rubber seal, and the bottom just lifts up. That's it, step 1. So these are the little rubber grommets here that cover attaches into, and then this lip here. I talked about the air filter, which is located right here. It's telling me that the air filter needs to be cleaned at 150 hours, which our generator is at right now, and needs to be replaced at 450 hours. I'll show you how to replace it, but I think I'm gonna hang on to it and probably replace it around 300 hours. For me, it's always about a visual inspection. You can tell when it's dirty, you can tell when it's damaged. But you know, we do a lot of boondocking, a lot of desert camping, so it's always getting more dust than if you're in a normal, you know, campground or blacktop and stuff like that. So it's just a good thing to stay on top of because these generators aren't cheap, so you want to just keep them well maintained. To take out the air cleaner, you have 3 clips right here. 1 here, 2 here, and a 3rd here. You're just gonna pop them. 1, 2, 3. You're gonna lift up the bottom of the cover, wiggle it loose, pull it aside. So this is the air filter here. It's kind of a strange shape from what I'm used to, which is fine. It just comes out, and you can see it's pretty clean. There's a little bit of grunge here and there. You know, looking in between the fins and whatnot. I really think it's fine for now, and probably just gonna put it back in here, but that way you know how to change it out. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start with the oil change. As you can tell right here, you have a petcock, which you're gonna turn to the left, and then there's a drain tube underneath, and that is also where the oil filter is located. So I just have your standard 5-gallon bucket here. I'm gonna set it underneath. We'll open the petcock, let it start draining out, and then we'll go under and unscrew the filter, and hopefully it comes off nicely. There's a couple tips and tricks I've learned over the years of working on motors, so I think we'll be good. And if I need to show you my little trick, I'll show you the little trick anyways, in case you don't have the proper tool. This isn't something you need to do, but the way my generator is situated, it just makes more sense. I have an old piece of tubing here, and I already checked. This tube is going to slide right over the drain tube that is coming down for the oil. So this will just make it easier to make sure that all the oil goes in the bucket and that I don't make a mess. You can tell right here, here's our oil filter, and then right beside it here, this rubber tube is our drain for the motor oil here. So I'm just gonna take this hose, slide it on all the way up, and then I'm just gonna twist it. So now it's in a good position right there in the bucket. Here's your little petcock for the oil. Not getting any oil yet. This is kind of funny. Still taking a while. There we go. Got some oil coming out now. What's crazy is it seems really dark, which is normally not a good thing, but maybe if you boondock a lot and you're out in the dirt a lot, maybe that you might want to do it a little earlier, maybe like 100 hours. It's all up to you. Under the trailer, the oil is still draining. I did try to get the filter off just with my bare hands, and I was unsuccessful. So you can get a special tool, or a regular oil filter wrench might work. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys a special trick that I've learned years ago working on just various motors and whatnot. Have your filter here and it's not coming loose. So I'm gonna take this screwdriver here and I am literally going to tap it into the side of the filter. And what that's gonna allow me to do is to get leverage and turn the filter. Hopefully it works. It's a little messy and it's a little barbaric, but you know what? I've done it in the past many times and it works fine. And also, be very careful of this edge right here. It's extremely sharp. Ask me how I know. Obviously a little oil is gonna come out. All right, so we're in now. This filter is on there. Woo! Fortunately, it got a little messy, but you know what? I was trying to show you guys that you don't actually need the special tool. If you want to avoid using the special tool, you can make a bigger mess, but you don't need the special tool. To be honest, the way this is designed in my trailer at least, there's not a clear shot. You're gonna get oil on this rail right here, but it wasn't that bad. All of it went in the 5-gallon bucket, so it is what it is. Make sure you close your petcock here. That'll be the first thing that you're gonna wanna do, otherwise you're just gonna get covered with oil. You want to make sure that you got the old filter seal off of the generator. Lots of times you'll pull the filter out and you won't realize, and there's a rubber O-ring, and you'll leave it on the motor. Sometimes they get stuck, and then you'll go put the new one on, and the new one already has one. So then the issue you have is now you have 2 O-rings or 2 seals or whatever you want to call it, and the problem is it doesn't seal. So always make sure that on your filter you have the old filter and you have the old O-ring or seal, whatever you want to call it, before you put the new filter on. I have our new filter here. You can see that there's this rubber seal I was telling you guys about. I already checked. The old one is off, so it's not stuck on the generator. What I like to do is grab your oil. This is always really important. So you're gonna go ahead and fill the filter up with oil. This helps so when you're starting the motor, basically it doesn't start with none in here, and then also it will fill the engine quicker. I like to put a little bit on the seal. There's different opinions on that. And the filter itself took about 1/3 of a quart. So you can imagine how long that would take if you were dumping it in from the top and letting it trickle all the way through the system. So you fill it here, and then it's also better for starting. You don't want to get like an airlock or something like that, so it's just better off to fill it put a lid on the seal. We're gonna throw it up in there, and then we're just gonna fill it from the top. Oh, hey. Yeah, so we got everything cleaned up underneath. Everything looks good. Put the filter on, it's full of oil. We screwed it up. We did it firmly because remember how hard it was to get it off? Yeah, you don't wanna have that problem again down the road. So we're gonna take the cap off here, and then we're just gonna fill her up. That's it for now. I just threw the cover back on because it does say caution, do not operate the generator with the cover off. So I'm gonna fire it up. Everything should be good, and then we will just double check the oil level. We got the generator running for a little bit, and then we'll shut it down and we'll recheck the level. I just want to tell you guys real quick, if you are looking for these parts, they'll all be in our link below. And just so you know, we do get a slight commission, but that helps us out in the long run to stay on the road, to provide information for you guys.